So this week is a really exciting week for photography nerds. I mean, the Sony Alpha 1 was just announced yesterday, and just hours ago, Fujifilm launched the GFX100s and the GF80mm f1.7. I'm Richard and welcome to ZP Productions. And recently, should I say this week, two flagship cameras were launched and a really good lens was also launched with it. The Sony Alpha 1 costing at about 6,500 USD, obviously showing that it's a flagship level price, comes with insane specifications, I will talk about it later. And then the GFX100s, the first medium format with a 100 megapixel sensor, going in at 6,000 USD and weighs half a kg lesser than this, and with almost the same capability as the GFX100 with a 40% price cut. Then the GF80mm f1.7, which is the fastest medium format lens in production. It is really fast and it is 80mm and is not very big, costing at 2.3k USD, making it relatively affordable for a medium format lens. Now let's look at them individually and why am I excited about all these three equipment. Firstly, the Sony Alpha 1 is a marvel in technology, 50 megapixel sensor, 30 FPS, and to put in perspective in numbers, even you considering that it's going to be a compressed RAW, you're looking at 1.5 to 1.8 gigabytes per second. That is insane amount of data going through the camera every single second itself. And then it can do 8K 30p, 10-bit internal without overheating in 30 minutes. That's what they claim. I mean, they say 30 minutes. Obviously, there's a bite on the R5, but let's leave it as that. And then, if you go down further, it has a really, really nice EVF. The EVF is 240 FPS and going in at 9 million pixels. So it's the same really awesome EVF you get in the A7S III, but now with 240 FPS refresh rate. And then lastly, the shutter sync speed for flash. Electronic shutters are normally really slow. I mean, they usually go at 1 to 100 or 1 to 60 or 1 to 125. But with the new A1 with its way faster sensor, they are claiming 1.5 faster sensor readout. The sensor now can do flash sync, at 1 to 200 shutter speed for the purpose of silent shutter. And then when you talk about its mechanical shutter, it's also a new high, in fact. 1 to 400, 1 over 400 for its mechanical shutter itself. Now, just to put it in perspective, no other camera in the market today that is full frame can sync at that speed unless they are a medium format camera with a leaf shutter. Any other camera out there syncs way slower. The fastest other camera is probably 1 over 320. 1 over 400 is a new boundary really for the purpose of a mechanical shutter mounted in front of a sensor itself. So the A1, the Alpha 1 by Sony, is really an impressive piece of technology in every way. Even though, yes, the price is a bit high, 6.5k, but that camera definitely can bring in the money. And if you use it for any form of professional work, I would say as you will never be disappointed. 50 megapixels, right? Now let's hope that the dynamic range is as good as the marketing, because the original A9 dynamic range isn't that great, and that's because of its shutter, its silent shutter mode. So hopefully now the new silent shutter will result in the same dynamic range, or if not just a slight loss, not as big as the A9 itself. Now that's for Sony. The thing is that I'm not a Sony user, but I'm really excited about the camera because it is like a breakthrough in technology. But to me, the more exciting one are the Fujifilm announcement. Firstly, the 100s. Now, the 100s is something that I will honestly say I will not buy because I got a GFX100. So the GFX100s to me was a GFX100 that went for a few marathons and lost a lot of weight, because firstly, they lost the lower battery grip, and they also lost the tiltable EVF, but in exchange, they lost 0.5 kg of weight, and that is significant because this is 1.4 kg and that is 0.9 kg, making it really light, much lighter and easier to handle in the field. And also in terms of dimension, it looks really similar to the R5, just slightly bigger than the R5 itself. And not only that, the other specs on the GFX100s, if you ask me, is everything almost the same as the GFX100, maybe with a slightly lower resolution EVF, but if not, the spec is, I think, identical to the GFX100s itself. Or should I say the GFX100 itself. The only other thing that is different is the IBs. The IBs of the new GFX100s is said to be slightly better at 6 stop of IBs, while this is only 5.5. Let's hope that it's truly 6 stop, because normally such marketing material as 0.5 is just for the purpose of numbers. Maybe there's no improvement, we do not know. Now, the biggest improvement, if you ask me, for the GFX100s is the price point, coming in at 6,000 USD. It is 40% cheaper than the GFX100, and it is significant because with that $4,000 now, you can go and buy 2 lenses or one really, really good GFX lens and be happy with it, and get the same image quality as the 100 here, which costs, by the way, $10,000 just 1.5 years back. So the GFX100s is truly a new breakthrough in terms of pricing for medium format. By the way, it is the only production 100 megapixel camera at $6,000. There is no other 100 megapixel camera that is cheaper than it today. There's no 100 megapixel that is even near it. In fact, the nearest to it is the GFX100, which costs $4,000 more. So it is a breakthrough in terms of pricing. Now, the 100S is something I won't get. It's not that exciting to me. Exciting still, that's not that exciting. The more exciting one to me is the next one, which is the GF 80mm f1.7. Why is it exciting? Firstly, 80mm is a range that will result in 63mm. It's a range that I used before. It's quite okay with me. Something different from almost any other system. And it comes in at a weight of only 800 grams, making it really light and really usable. Considering that this guy is really so heavy, a lighter lens will always help. And not only that, it has a f1.7 aperture. What f1.7 means that it's going to be the fastest in production medium format lens today, because almost every other medium format lens is f2, f2.8, f4, really slow. But this guy is going to be f1.7. Now, the only disappointing thing of the 80mm f1.7 is that it doesn't have the LM motor, and I saw some tests. The focusing seems to be slightly slower than the 110mm here. So you lose a bit of focusing, but you lose a lot of weight too, because the lens itself is now only 800 grams, and it is going to be in a size and weight smaller than even the RF 50mm f1.2, which means that it's going to be a really impressive piece of lens mounted on the GFX100. And initial reviews show that the thing in terms of sharpness is really good. It is sharp in the center, at least really, really sharp in the center. It's also really sharp in the outer regions. I do not know the corner sharpness because nobody has tested it yet, but it looks probably going to be okay. And most importantly, the bokeh is really nice too. I mean, the bokeh looks really smooth. It is sometimes a little bit jittery in the front based on some images I saw, but I need to test it myself because people are using it to shoot cats. I mean, using a $15,000 camera, or should I say a $15,000 Sing dollars system to shoot cats, 10,000 USD to shoot cats is a little bit weird to me. I'm looking forward to more people using it to shoot professionally. I mean, the only person that I saw with really impressive picture with it is like Jonas, and Jonas shots with the 80mm f1.7 and the GFX100 system was really nice, and I really want to get it when it's out soon. And talking about launch date, the equipment are going to get launched really soon. The Alpha 1 comes in at March, and the GFX100s and the 80mm are going to come in at February. I guess stocks will be really limited, but for the first time in photography history, the equipment launch is really close to the date that is announced. I don't need to wait 3 to 5 months for it, and that is a new improvement if you ask me. And that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this short little video. I just want to talk about it because this is like an awesome launch week. I mean, these are high-end equipment with high-end specs pushing boundaries in terms of pricing and specifications. So I'm always looking forward to more such equipment in the future. That's about it for today, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.